Welcome to night 2. I'm tired. Yesterday, guys, I uploaded my video almost 2 in the morning. It took that long to put all the images in, to render the video, and to upload it. You're welcome. Please give a like and subscribe. Put it on Facebook or Twitter or something. So somebody can see it, to know that at least I've done something. This show was long. From the kickoff to here, it's 16 matches. That is a long-ass show. I don't care what you think. It's exhausting. But I'm going to say this. Was this show better than night 1? Is night 2 better than night 1? I'm going to tell you right now, yes. It's actually better. Not amazingly better, but it is better because we did get a little bit more out of it. Let's go to the kickoff. We got Red Tyrus versus Doug Williams. Since he had nothing to do on night 1, they gave him a match in night 2. It was a good match. They drawed. Now, do I agree about draws all the time? No. But in this case, when they're both submission specialists, we got it. And it worked. I don't know if anybody else would agree to it, but it did work for me personally. Now, I'm going to go through these. I'm going to shoot through most of them. Now, Terrence Terrell versus Angelina Love. Now, in the Battle Royal, Gauntlet Battle Royal, Angelina Love busted her nose and she started bleeding from it. I don't know what happened, how she got her nose busted, but she seems to be alright. She just got a bloody nose. This match, look, Terrence Terrell is a sexy woman. She's a cute woman. She's a nut in her character. Her character's nutty, but she still knows how to wrestle. I don't know what the hell was going on when she decided to go and touch the bell and ring it. And say that she is the current winner of that match. And then Angelina Love laid her ass out afterward. By, I believe she did, a submission. She submitted her. But did she submit her? Trying to remember. I don't know. I think she did a submission. I can't remember. But if she did, what was that all about? Really? Well, she did try to do a submission, but I don't know if she got out of it. I can't remember so much stuff here. I'm going to miss something, so deal with it. Now, let me give you this. When it came to Cardona doing an interview talking about Orlando Freeman, not Antonio, my mistake. I'm not going to probably remember if I don't get a chance to see much of Power in USA. I'm going to try to see Power in USA. You know, there's a lot going on when it comes to wrestling. It's hard to keep up with everything. I'm going to try and watch Power in USA. I can't guarantee it, but I'm going to try. But knowing they're going to continue that feud, I'm fine with it. You got, Gastivalo versus Kerry Morton. I'm sorry. Why did he get a match? This could have been put on Power. I don't know why. I don't know why he had it. He didn't need it. He got over when it came to Homicide. I don't know why they gave him this match here where he won. He didn't need it. That's just me, guys. Tell me below. Now, the Queen Bee match. I don't know about anybody. But we had Kylie King. We had... It was a 6-woman tag. Well, sort of. No. I'm a little tired. It's a 6-woman tag, but they call it the Queen Bee, which is a... This is sort of a buy-off of Impact Wrestling. Sort of. It's not the same. It's not. The rules here is it's a 6-woman tag. Which team wins? And it was Kylie King, Genocide, and Taya versus Natalya Makovic and Missy K and Maddie. Whichever team wins goes after that into a fatal, not fatal 3-way, but a triple threat afterward. And the person who wins after that gets crowned the Queen Bee, which is kind of a bite off of Impact Wrestling. It's just they normally wouldn't do it like this. Where they would have unless I missed it, they wouldn't normally have a 6-woman tag. Then it would go to a fatal, go to a triple threat, and then they would crown it. It's different, but pretty much the concept is the same. It was Natty Markova and Missy K who won that match. I kind of thought it would be the opposite. But when I saw this, I felt there's only one person that had to win. it had to be my woman. It had to be one of my women, actually. It had to either be Natalya Markova, or if it was the other one, it would have been Taya Valkyrie. So they chose Natalya Markova. She is now the Queen Bee. She gets pretty much a tiara, like what happened with Madison Rayne, because she's won it twice, I believe. Now, she now is considered the Queen Bee. I don't know if this concept originated in Impact. As far as I know, it did. Well, TNA. But they decided to put a twist on it. I'm not saying it was great. I'd rather have seen Taya Valkyrie win over Camille. That's just me. But still, this is what you get. Main card, Colby Corino versus Coleman. I can't remember his first name. But this is a guy who usually does commentary on AEW TV whenever they do something on ROH. Why is he not wrestling for AEW? Why is he wrestling on the independents and only doing commentary in AEW? The guy is good, but it's kind of understandable why he's not, because, and you know what? I've had no time to do my Gump report. I'm going to see if I can in the next couple of days. I'm going to be honest here. It could be Friday when you see the Gump report, because I'm so busy this week. There's things I got to do next to going to my doctor in the morning, and next to doing the video reviews, and I barely had any time to do anything when it comes to my animation. I got to do a Gump report, so I got to see if I can do it. I'm hoping by Thursday or Friday to get it, but if I can get it done Tuesday, I'm going to do it. But seeing that Colby Corino had this match with him, when it comes to Coleman, he's good in the damn ring. They say the ageless one. He's not bad. He's good in the ring. He also can talk pretty well. I do admit, I'd rather see him talk as a... He's not bad as a commentator. But as a wrestler, I think he talks much better. That's just me, guys. Seeing him having a job to Kobe is not a bad thing. It doesn't hurt his rep. And Kobe is what I said. He is better than Kerry Morton and most of the guys there. He's got character. He can wrestle. And he did the Styles Clash. I did enjoy that. Not everyone likes seeing someone copy someone else's move. But we've been doing this for decades. Everyone always copies a move of somebody else. So seeing that he may add the Styles Clash to his repertoire, I wouldn't be a problem with it. Now, this is where it gets really messy. The U.S. Tag Title Battle Royal has 12 men in it. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. 6 teams. And I'm going, okay. I didn't know they had a U.S. title along with the main title. So they have regular tag titles and now USA titles. Suppose they had them before. Okay, this is something new to me. They decided to do this in a battle royal. I was quite surprised about that. I was surprised to see they would have so many teams. They had the Ministry Faithful. They had Gold Rush. They had the Now. They had what was one of them? Rough Ready. They had the Fixers. They had Airy. They had also Country Gentlemen, and even Rebellion, where they wanted to try and combine the titles. It was all over the place. And they did the rule where only one teammate needed to go out of the ring so they could be eliminated. You didn't need 2 of them, you only need 1. It's understandable there was so much going on in the show. In the end, the last teams there, if I remember correctly, was the Fixers and the Attitude. I can't remember them. But the Fixers won the now U.S. tag titles, which I believe will go on NWA USA. Because I think they want to keep Rebellion on Power and now keep pretty much the U.S. tag team, the Fixers, on USA. That's what I think they're going to do. They want to differentiate both titles. One is for Power, which is the main titles. One is USA for the USA show. Hopefully, the USA show will expand a little more because being 30 minutes is not enough. They need to make it an hour to get more stuff in. I'm hoping once these titles are on there, one day I hope they're bringing more fresh meat for them. Other words, bring in indie people so they can job to the fixers, and they expand USA to 2 hours. That's the problem they have with Rampage. I'm just saying. Also, I didn't say this in the Night 1 review. I forgot. There was so much here, it was hard to remember it. When it came to the opening of the show, unlike yesterday, where the audio was bad, audio was fine, but in both the beginnings of the pay-per-view, they had Billy Corbin's, what was it called again? His pumpkin, what's it called? What was the name of the call? Bullet with Butterfly Wings. One of his songs that he did in his music video was well synonymous and infamous of being one of the best singers and rockers there is. And it fit the show. Now, I forgot to say it because there was just so much I had to cover, I just couldn't remember it. But I had to remember it here because even though this is the second time they played it again, and they played repeats of what usually they do in Power in USA, it works. I wish that he would do songs specifically for NWA. I think, for me personally, like what happened with Chris Jericho using Judas, I would love to see Billy Corgan write a song for one of the pay-per-views again. It would be great for 73 that he wrote a song for the pay-per-view then. It would be great if he did one for Shadow Falls. And then for NWA 75, and maybe another song, a brief song, just something. It would be nice to see him do a new song for the next pay-per-view, so not only he could sell it, but also it would make the show feel unique. Unlike most shows, they don't always do that. That's just me. You guys tell me below. Now, we got... Let me give it to you like this. Seeing that Magic Jack went up against, I can't remember the guy's name. I don't remember him. Makimoru. I can't even pronounce his name. He's kind of like a European model. I can't remember his name. Mac Caluno. Cabito. I think that, I can't pronounce the name. Forget it. Just seeing Magic Jake was fine, but to be honest, it could have been left for Power. Kind of like when it came to Kerry Morton. That could have also been put on Power. You didn't need to have those two matches there. You didn't need the one with Kerry Morton in it. And here with Magic Jake, even though I don't hate him, I kind of think it could have been on Power USA. Just me. He won his match just like Kerry did, but I don't believe he needed to be on the main card. He could have been removed and made the show shorter. That's just me. You tell me below. Now, the MLW open weight heavyweight title. No, the MLW open weight national championship with a Davey Richards, who's holding it now, and a, what is his name? A Thrill Billy and a Cypress, what is this guy's name? I got it in my notes here. Mason. There you go. Cypress Mason. But you guys tell me below. Is that a real woman with him? Because it looks like a guy in drag. And what is the guy's name? Benair. I believe the guy's name or girl's name is Benair. I can't get the names right now. I am sleepy. I want to go to sleep. So, the Belair, is that a guy or girl? I believe it's a guy in drag. I could be wrong. If it's a woman, I'm wrong. I'm glad to see MLW on NWA. Unlike AEW and Impact Wrestling. And understand, I know Impact has had other promotions, but AEW and Impact Wrestling does not have the pedigree of an NWA. This is where all these promotions all started together. Remember, NWA is the first organizational promotion. Not the first promotion, the first organizational one. The one that worked with everyone with one unified title. but still made sure when it was necessary to work all together and bring in people from the other promotions to work. This is NWA. It makes better sense for them to hold those type of things a little more than Impact or AEW. Even though they can still do it, it should feel more important here. I was not surprised debut won. There was no way MLW was going to lose their title holder right now, particularly with Davey Richards, who I really do believe is one hell of a wrestler. And since Angelina was there, his former flame that he was married to, and they do have a child together, I'm sure they still love each other. At least they don't hate one another, hopefully. They were on the same show together, so they probably were cool together, I hope. Let's move on to the one thing I have to... Oh my gosh. I gotta do it. I'm doing it now. Before I forget, because I'm so tired. What was that? I don't know if I'm putting images in here right now. It's gonna be about me deciding to do it. If I am, I'll be putting it right now. Joe Galley. When we reached the point when it came to Davey Richards, I believe that was around the time of that. I think it was just before the national title with Mayweather, and when it came to Scion. But I'm doing it now before that. Guys, he decided to hijack the show. He thanked Billy Corgan, and he called in his girlfriend, who, I don't even know if I have an image of her. I may not. But he called her into the ring. He told her how much he loved her. She's a school teacher. He told her how much he loved her. He told her how much he thanked her for understanding his passion and love, and that he loves her so much. Will he be allowed to marry her? Will you marry me? She says yes. And the moment, I think I got that shot. I must put probably that shot in. The moment that she said yes, he grabbed her ass and started kissing her. Guys, they look like they were about to jump on each other in the ring and start screwing. He grabbed her and started kissing her. His crotch was in between her legs. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. He was excited. He was in front of a whole bunch of people, nationally, possibly internationally, and he got to say, I love you, will you marry me, and got an agreement. He grabbed that ass and he started kissing it. He was so happy. Velvet started to cry, and you see that Tim Storm was kind enough to help him out to make sure he did what he did. I'm like, really? But it's cool. You know what? I'm kind of cool with it. But let's hope they don't do that often. And let's hope that he doesn't end up like Sammy Guevara proposing on a pay-per-view or on one of the shows and then reneging on it and going with one of the fellow wrestlers later. Let's hope he's going to stick with this woman. But that's just me, guys. Tell me below. What do you think? Now, the National Championship. You got Mayweather versus Scion. The great Scion. I take that back. They're basically having this premise. Mayweather's angry at Scion because he didn't take his opportunity that he offered him during the show. And I didn't say it, but Scion basically had the opportunity because Mayweather wanted to screw over Jack Steen. He messed him up. And Scion didn't want to win that way. So he's angry about it. So we have this match here. I kind of wish it had been saved for Power or USA and they could have built into it. I think that would have been better than having this match here. Yes, seeing the National Championship defended again is cool, but wouldn't it have been better to be built up? This feels like it was a reaction to something. Doesn't mean the match was bad, and Scion did retain, but to be honest, now that Jack Dean has seen the match, he studied him, I just feel like this could have been saved for Power USA. Or Power, just saved for it. Okay, let's move on to the King's Highway Street fight with the Hex versus the Pretty Empowered. What did I think about the street fight when it came to the Hex of Marty Bell and Allison Kay versus Kenzie and I forgot her name now. What is her name? Envy. I can't believe Envy. That's her name, Envy. I can't remember the rest of it. Was it good? Yeah. It wasn't a bad match. It wasn't the greatest street fight I've ever seen. But it was a good match. They really tried to make this show build like this. Build, 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 build. They had a slow match. Yes, that's why probably the National Championship was in there. And build up. Joe Galley had his moment. And build up. I think that's what happened. That's the way I think they were trying to do it. Go up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. To keep going up. Which made sense, but I wish they could have made it shorter when they did the up and down. In the end, Pretty Empowered retained. And you finally see Kenzie Page show her dark side, because they showed her, yes, in the interview, that she was not on the same page as Envy. But here, when you see again a couple of times that she was having a problem with Envy, when it was all over, she started beating that ass of Marty Bell. When the kendo stick, when it was all said and done. She was willing to do whatever it took to keep her titles. Fine. Now let's see if there's a story going, and hopefully more fresh meat for Kenzie and Envy. Remember, these titles need feeding. You need to feed them new women, not just feed them the same women over and over again. And worse yet, you feed them over and over again, or you feed them to other people, but they're not shown on damn TV. They're not shown on NWA, Power, or USA. They don't show a 2-minute segment or 10-second segment that defended them. They can be fed in different promotions, but guess what? We need to see it so we know it's being fed. That's just me, guys, down below. The Junior Heavyweight Championship with Homicide and Ricky Morton. Why did we have this match? Why wasn't this built up? Why this made no freaking sense. Unless you really want to get Ricky Morton off TV, write him off because of how the ending was when Homicide nailed him behind the head, where maybe he could have a concussion and he can't wrestle and Kerry has to work on his own. Maybe that's why they did it. If it wasn't that, and he's perfectly fine, this was not necessary. They didn't need to do double duty here. It could have helped the show to be a little slimmer. We did have an okay match. Ricky Morton, at his age of 65, is still able to go in the ring okay. Compared to Ric Flair, who's 73, Ricky Morton can jump around like a young kid compared to a Ric Flair. And I know that he had a problem with his foot and he wasn't functioning correctly, but it doesn't make a difference. You show what you can do. If he's better now, fine, but it doesn't matter to me because the one match he's supposed to have that he may do again with what was Carlos Colon now maybe the next match, because they did have something in Puerto Rico at least several weeks ago. I don't care about seeing because of what I saw in there. I'm just saying. Ricky lost. He gets nailed in the back. I'm hoping this is going to write him off TV so he'll be able to help Kerry. If they want to do something with Kerry, then they can bring him back later once Kerry's developed a little bit more on his own. That's just me, guys, down below. Okay, we got Flip. This is where it gets hard. Flip Gordon versus Nick Aldis was a good match. I did enjoy it. But I'm like, after what I saw with the last 4 matches, I'm going, wouldn't it have been better to schedule this on another pay-per-view? Wouldn't it have been better to put this on Shadow Falls? Because I would have liked to see this on another pay-per-view another time, because it was a great match, but the problem is it was so heavily packed, so much going on. This got lost in the shuffle. It felt like it needed to be on its own pay-per-view. This needed to be a marquee match. It was a good match. It wasn't that bad. It was good. But there was so much. There was 16 matches from the kickoff to the main card. It was overloaded. If they had gotten rid of Ricky Morton and Homicide, it would have been good. If they got rid of Kerry and him having his match, that would have been good. It would have slimmed down everything and made it better. But it didn't. It didn't. And it just felt like it was too much going on, too much wrestling going on, and it was exhausting. I even began to fall asleep, not because I hated the match, because I was tired. Yesterday was exhausting. Today was exhausting. I feel like I want to fall asleep right now, standing up, going, and hopefully not have food on my face. I know. Don't think I didn't notice I had food on my face at one point. They came out of my mouth. I was eating while I was doing the review. What was writing the notes for the review, I mean. So I'm sorry. I didn't say it before, but I'm not going to lie about it. It happened. But still, it's exhausting. Nick won, but I wish it was on another pay-per-view. I'm being honest here. Now, this match could have been with that pay-per-view as well. If you're going to have something with Aaron Stevens and Kratos, wouldn't it have been great to build it up? Wouldn't it have been great to actually do something on another pay-per-view like Shadow Falls and have it there? I believe Shadow Falls is months from now. But I think Shadow Falls would have been a better pay-per-view if it's Shadow Falls. I don't remember. It would have been better to have this on another pay-per-view like with the Nick Aldis and Flip Gordon match. Rodney Mack and Aaron Stevens versus Kratos and the Pope. It was a good match. It was. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the match. Here's where it gets interesting. Guys, at one point, if I'm going to put images, you're going to see it. You got all four of them go behind the curtains. And they decided, because the area that they were coming out from for the ballroom is the stage. And they had drapes there. So what they decided to do, Billy, that was genius, Billy. I loved it. It was like an old, what they used to call them, talkies. Or like vaudeville. If you used to know about vaudeville or talkies, what vaudeville used to be was a variety show that used to come out in the 18th and 19th century and even the 20th century, the very early. Like 1910s, 1920s, 1930s. Before TVs and movies really took over, people used to go to vaudeville. And they would watch people on stage do exactly what you would see on TV. And talkies is basically the very early silent films. And this it was reminiscent of it. It was beautiful. For me personally, that was a very interesting touch that no one was doing. And I think it was wonderful. Yes. We got the faces winning the Pope and Kratos. I don't think Kratos is a face, but he is working with the Pope, so he is a face for the day. I'm glad it happened, but I wish it was on another pay-per-view, like with Flip Gordon and Nick Aldis. Second, oh my goodness, how many matches were it? 1, 2, 3. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Next match also could have been on it should have been allowed to marinate for a while. And this is EC3 versus, I don't remember who won, unfortunately. I think it was EC3 who won. I can't remember. I had to go to the bathroom. I didn't rush back in time. What I saw was EC3 Control Your Narrative crew attacking. As far as I know, I think EC3 won. I think he did win. I could be wrong. You guys could tell me below. But the match was good until I had to go to the bathroom because I had been sitting there for hours. I had to go. So by the time I went and came back, that's when it was over and I didn't know who won. I just saw Tom Latimer laid out. And the Control Your Narrative crew was there with him. They whooped his ass and then moved on. My guess is EC3 probably won. I do believe he won. But I would have liked to let this marinate for a while on Power or USA. Take several weeks before you actually have a match between the two guys. And if EC3 is working with NWA, even for some tapings, which I kind of hope he was hired, he's not going to get a huge amount of money working with NWA. He's got his own promotion that he's going to be working with. Control Your Narrative. I can't remember the name of it, but it's Control Your Narrative something. It would be great that they made a crafted story, not a rushed one. This would have been great on another pay-per-view. But it's just me. Guys, tell me below. Second to last, which easily was the best for me. Maxine Paler versus Camille. Now, admittedly, Camille didn't look that great at first. She looked easily tired. She had one hell of a match with Taya yesterday. And I kind of wished so much this also was. I wish this also was on another pay-per-view. I'm telling you the truth. I would have loved to see this on the second pay-per-view. I would have loved to see this closing its own pay-per-view. You could have done this on, I think Shadow Falls is the next pay-per-view coming at the end of the year. I could be wrong. You guys tell me below. I can't remember right now. But I would have loved to see this close its own pay-per-view. It could have been Shadow Falls. It could have been second to last on the next pay-per-view. You could have saved this. But I felt like they wanted to really pack this show so heavily. And it did do this. But, guys, sometimes doing this doesn't always mean it's the right thing to do. And it was so much show already. This was a good show. And yes, Camille got a bit tanked early. But she did do very well. I did like how Maxine looked. She did well. And to be honest, if Maxine doesn't have that makeup on, I wonder what she looks like. I think she has a baby face. I'm not saying she's young or anything, but she kind of looks like a young woman. Even though she's like, that's just me. Maybe I'll try and look her up. But the point is, it was a good match. People did like it. Yes, they didn't get into it at first because all of this show, the crowds were going up, 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 zip, up, 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 zip, up, 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 zip. And I won't say they were perfect either. Most of the crowd was not cheering very loudly. But later they were. They were cheering loudly. And it was nice to see that Bully Ray did come out during the match. He did come out. And he sat down on commentary next to Velvet Sky, his former love. I think they still love each other. It's just they decided not to be together anymore. Mutually not together, but they're still very close. They still love each other. Why? Who fucked up in that relationship? Who? Velvet Sky, for what I understand from interviews, is extremely sweet. Yeah, she can be a little bit of a problem. But really? And then on his, I know he can be a pain in the ass. Let's be honest. Bully Ray is from New York. We New Yorkers, we are very unique people. I'm actually kind of a screwball when it comes to being a New Yorker. Yes, I'm opinionated. If you've seen my channel for years, I can easily be opinionated. You see, I'm tired. Opinionated. I can easily be opinionated. I can be a pain in the ass. I know I can talk too much. And I even tell people, tell me when I talk too damn much, because I know I can be annoying. But he is a quintessential pain in the ass as a New Yorker. If it was him, he was stupid. If it was her, damn it. Why? But anyway, the match ends with her winning. I did enjoy it. She retains her title. But now what? I still believed, one, she should have dropped it to Taya in night one. And I believe this, two, why didn't you build this up for the next pay-per-view? This could have been saved for months. Building it up, letting the Impaler go through the roster again, and women from outside until the next pay-per-view. Why was it so rushed? I don't understand. That's just me. Now, for the final one. Now, I'm sure many people are saying, oh man, this probably sucked as a match. I was thinking, I don't know how this is going to go. Did Tyrus lose weight? Can Tyrus go in the ring pretty well? We know that Trevor Murdoch is still good in the ring. He's good. He's not perfect. He is an older guy like myself. He is quite heavy set, so he can't do all the moves he wants to do. But there's nothing wrong with his work in the ring. It's pretty solid. But Tyrus has always been known to be a bit sluggish in the ring. And due to the fact that he was a bit overweight, more than he should be, it's hard to say, could he go well enough with a Trevor Murdoch to really mean something. So, when I saw Tyrus, he looked skinnier. Now, I'm not saying he looked really flat stomached. He's still got a belly like me. Unlike me, this is Tyrus, this is me. I'm about 5'8.5", maybe. He's here, easily. I could be his kid. He's bigger than the door jamb in my apartment. But, he's a little more chunky than I am. But he does look a little skinnier. So I'm going, okay, he does look skinnier. No matter what he wore, you can see his belly hanging out. It was pokey in the front. You could see he looked slimmer. He wasn't holding his stomach in. He looked like he legitimately lost some weight. So that's great. he did lose some weight. So when the match happened, which unfortunately I was having a problem with the stream, at first 3 to 5 minutes I missed it, so I missed Black G's getting DDT'd by a Trevor Murdoch. I didn't see it. When I finally could see it, the match seemed to be going pretty well. And it was not that bad. Now, was he getting tanked? Trevor. Yeah, a little bit, of course. Was Tyrus getting tanked? Yes, he was. But it wasn't as bad as it normally would be. So he looked better. Doesn't mean he was perfect. No. We're talking about two older guys. Tyrus is 49 years old. And I think Trevor is 48 years old. They're both younger than I am. I'm 51. Yes, I'm 51. If anybody's seeing this, if you see my old ugly self, my old ugly self, and all my hair all over the place, I'm 51 this year. So I'm older than both of them. But they did work decently well. And at the end, the crowds were getting into it. At one point, it was Trevor getting so frustrated he could not beat Tyrus. He went outside and got the ring bell. And he was about to nail him with it. But then he chose not to. He said, you know what? No, I can't do this that way. And after a little bit of a struggle with Tyrus, Tyrus did the same thing. Now, supposing in story, even though Joe Galley, Velvet Sky, or Tim Storm did not say anything about it, Tyrus said in story that that's his cousin. And next to messing with his cousin's son, Trevor Murdoch, he basically, it was like acting he's going up against his cousin. And he really wanted to show that he was better than him. And when he had the ring bell, he couldn't do it either. So here's the kicker though. Even though he couldn't do it, and at first Trevor couldn't do it, Trevor said, you know what? Screw this. I'm going to win. He nutshots him. He does another nasty move. And he beats Tyrus. Tyrus is hurt. You could see Tyrus is hurt. I might even use him leaning on the ropes with Black G's by his side, how upset he was. He was angry. He was so hurt. And when it was all said and done, he went out of the ring. After he shook Trevor Murdoch's hand, he went outside the ring. He hugged his daughter that was at ringside. And you hear Trevor saying, there's someone I got to acknowledge, and it's Tyrus. And you know what? 5 weeks ago, and Tyrus got so freaking pissed off. He was mad. I don't know what triggered his ass. My guess is, and losing that way to his cousin that he shook the hand of, but then is going to acknowledge how important he was, but then he nailed him and cheated himself, pissed his ass off. He flips the commentator table over from his side. Hopefully no one got their feet hurt. And then he walks to the back and everyone is calling him a bitch, calling him a sore loser. And Trevor's saying, I was trying to show him respect. Why don't you let him know that he's nothing but a crybaby, a bitch. And he says thank you to everyone. And this is NWA 74. Was this better than night one? Yes. But did it feel too long? Yes. There were some matches on the first night that could have been shortened. Here, there could have been matches not only that didn't need to be on the show, like Kerry, what was it? Kerry versus Ganasio. And the match with, who was it? There were actually three of them. You got Magic Jack didn't need to be there. Kerry didn't need to be there. And Kerry's dad and Homicide didn't need to be there unless now Kerry's dad is going to be considered to be concussed and Kerry's going to have to work on his own and try to fight against Homicide for nailing his dad. Those matches didn't need to be there. When it came to Nick Aldis, when it came to the Pope and Rodney Mack versus Kratos and Aaron Stevens, and EC3 and Tom Latimer, and lastly Camille along with the Impaler Max. Those could have been saved for a pay-per-view. They could have been saved for another pay-per-view. I think that Nick Aldis and Flip Gordon, the Pope and Rodney versus the Kratos and Aaron Stevens, EC3, which I really believe could have been saved to build up to go into the pay-per-view, as well as when it came to Maxine. She could have been built up to go to the next pay-per-view. They should not have been there. They should have saved it for the next pay-per-view, made it mean something, but did not. Either because they knew they weren't going to be there, or Billy just wanted to blow his load now. I just don't agree with it. Does not mean the matches were bad. I liked all the matches. I just don't believe they need to be there. They could have been saved for other pay-per-view. And the Kerry, Ricky, and Magic Jack could have been saved for Power USA. So it was a good show, but one, it was too long, and two, that the matches, some of them should have been saved for Power USA or for another pay-per-view. But this is just me, and I hope you enjoyed the Zane View. Please give me a comment below. I'm probably not going to put no images in here because it's probably way past 12. It's probably 1 in the morning. So I'm just going to edit this together and then upload it. I'm sorry if you want images. Maybe I might put a few images. I don't know yet. I'm tired. Peace.